Welcome back to another episode of the Cycle Podcast, the show where we cover 4 trending MLB topics in 20 minutes or less. Joining me, as always, is my co-host Josh, a.k.a. Kablumski. Josh, welcome back to the show. We're so glad to have you. How are you doing today?
What's going on? What's going on? Thank you for having me. I thought that you were not going to have me after your team's destroyed my team these past couple of days. But hey, I'm here. I'm strong. I'm supporting you, and it's good to people what they want.
Yeah, I know you saw a picture of me on TV. I was sitting behind home plate at the Rays game on Tuesday. The Royals pulled out a big win en route to our sweep. And you were at the Pirates minor league game same night?
I was that same day. Yeah, we had our high school banquet, end of the year banquet there. Got to see Connor Griffin, their top prospect. Dude's a stud, by the way. We gotta have a topic about him. Guy's an absolute animal, built like an absolute ox, and a cool guy too. So something to talk about.
Cool. I really enjoyed being down at Steinbrenner Field. Any of those who know, the Tropicana was destroyed during a hurricane. They're playing at the Yankees minor league stadium. What a place to watch a game. There's not a bad seat in the house. Awesome. We got 3 seats, 3 rows behind home plate, dead center, for $70 a piece. We were right behind the replay booth. So I actually got to talk to the replay guy a little bit. He showed me what they do down there. And then he tossed the ball to my kid partway through the game. So it was a great experience and made even better by the fact that the Royals won. With that, I just wanted to get that in. I just want to get that in. But we've got 4 awesome topics to get to. So let's cut the small talk and talk some baseball. Our first topic today is going to be our monthly award, the Cycle Player of the Month for April. So we're just going to preface this by saying throughout the entire season, we're going to be removing Aaron Judge from contention because he is leading the MLB in virtually everything.
Right now.
The month of April, he was red hot, hitting something like 432 with power, driving in runs, scoring runs, stealing bases. He has 3 stolen bases in the month, which I think is a little abnormal for Judge. Looking through some of his stats, it's like, let's just disqualify him because it's not fair. So we dug a little deeper. My April player of the month is going to be Corbin Carroll, a player who got off to a bit of a slow start, but as of late has heated up dramatically. He has, and this is, like I said, just the month of April, 9 home runs, 22 RBIs, 24 runs scored. His batting average is .289. But what I want to key in on is his base running ability. There's a stat called BSR, which is just trying to analyze how much a player contributes running the bases. So that's going to be steals. That's going to be taking extra bags, turning singles into doubles, doubles into triples, as well as limiting ground balls, as in hitting into a fielder's choice or hitting into a double play. He leads the league with a 2.7, and that is phenomenal for a single month.
Insane.
The team as a whole, the Diamondbacks are 17-14. They are 4th in the NL West, and this surge by Corbin Carroll has kept them in a lot of games. The little things he does well, playing a great outfield, running the bases, has led to a lot of extra runs and a lot of extra opportunities for them to score in what is quite clearly the most difficult division in baseball out there in the NL West. And even 3 games above 500, they are still in 4th place in that division. So it's going to require him continuing to stay hot as Ketel Marte returns, and other contributors. But across the board, he has been an outstanding player this month. I know you had someone you want to talk about from another hot NL team, the New York Mets. Who is your player of the month?
Well, first of all, good pick on Corbin Carroll. He's absolutely a stud. And he's doing what you mentioned. When you have another star player that's out, whether it be injury or whatnot, you got to step up to the plate. If you're one of the faces of the franchise, or if you're one of the big-time names of the franchise, you got to step up to the plate, right? No pun intended. But he has in all aspects of the game, whether it be his defensive play, like you mentioned, on the base paths, making spectacular plays on the field, and then, of course, at the plate. So he's been doing tremendous work back there and keeping the Diamondbacks, like you said, afloat in that tough division over there. And my guy, man, I got to keep it at home. I got to go to a hometown kid or guy, grown ass man, he's not a kid, the polar bear out of
Big,
Tampa, Florida.
huge grown
Big
man.
guy. He's a grown ass man. Awesome guy. Had a chance to meet his dad. Awesome family. Shout out to Athletes Retreat. That's where he works out at over there in Keystone, Tampa, Florida. But talking about him, when you talk about the Mets, they were my team to come out the NL, I believe, when we picked at the beginning of this season. And as you shake your head, he's going to be having to do stuff like this to keep that team afloat and keep that team rolling. I understand they got Frankie Lindor and other pieces surrounding him, but like I mentioned about Corbin, he's one of the big time players, so he needs to show up, and he has. In the month of April, like you mentioned, we're just looking at the month of April. The thing that stands out to me is his strikeout percentage. That was a big knock on him last year, was the strikeout percentage. This year, he's at 15% as of right now in the month of April. Tremendous. That's a good percentage to be at in comparison to years past and months past, right? He has 6 total home runs in this month alone, and he's third, tied for RBIs right now with 24 in the league. So he's doing what he needs to do. I like seeing hometown talent take the next level and really represent not only for Tampa, but for their organization. And just having those aspects come through for him is just huge for him, but also for the team if they want to continue to make a push in October.
Because I expect Atlanta in that division to pick things up. I expect the Phillies to be in the conversation as they've sort of started to fix some of their issues. My biggest fear with them going after Soto so hard was losing Alonso, and they were able to keep him there, give him the money that he deserved, and now he is paying that back. Major dividends for that team, for that investment. And the Mets, a lot of people thought they were going to be outstanding. I didn't. I was wrong. I'm not wrong often when it comes to let's be real, I'm not wrong often.
I believe you.
I was way off in my evaluation of the Mets across the board. I still expect their pitching staff to sort of come back down to earth a little bit. But if they're getting offensive contributions like this from Alonso, who's technically their third option on offense,
right?
They're going to be a tough team to beat. But with that, we are over time. So let's go ahead and roll into our second topic. Our second topic today is going to be Who's Hot, a topic we cover every week. And this week, it's a good one for me. It's a really good one for me. The Kansas City Royals are 9-1 in their last 10. That is coming off the heels of a 2-8 road trip. We came back home. We swept Colorado. We swept Colorado at home. One of those being a doubleheader, very hard to do. We hosted Houston, 2-1 against Houston. We went to Tampa Bay and delivered the sweep. So, say what you will about a series with Colorado. Terrible, awful team, maybe worse than the White Sox were last year. But when you're coming off a road trip where you're 2-8 and your offense was just non-existent, you had some poor pitching performances, and that road trip, even playing a team like Colorado can be tough because you expect to win that series. And expecting to win that series can lead to mistakes, not giving it your all. The pitching was lights out in that game. We shut them out twice. Like I said, 2-1 against Houston. And then the real test was going back on the road where we've been poor and sweeping what I will say is a decent Tampa Bay team. They have great starting pitching. We went into a game against Taj Bradley, where that was the game I was at, and we took advantage of the very few opportunities he gave us. Bobby Witt Jr. is on a 22-game hitting streak. Salvador Perez's bat has come alive. And, of course, the key with the Royals is our starting pitching has been outstanding. Top 5 in most metrics as far as just starting rotation. ERA, innings pitched. We have guys going to the 7th inning. I don't know if you saw yesterday, we called up our number 5 overall prospect, Noah Cameron, to spot start for Cole Ragans. He took a no-hitter into the 7th inning. He went 7.1 innings, 1 hit, 0 run ball. We ended up closing out that shutout. Now, we go to Baltimore for 3, who I believe has the worst starting rotation in all of baseball. Then we go for 4 against the White Sox. So that's 7 winnable games. I believe we'll go 6-1 or 5-2 in this next stretch, which will take us probably in contention for the first place in our division, which the Tigers are currently holding down. I know you're a Tampa Bay fan. Did you have a chance to watch any of that series? And if so, just talk to me about what did the Royals do well? I know you want to talk about what the Rays didn't do well because you're a
Yeah,
fan.
no.
Anything you saw in particular from the Royals?
Well, first of all, has the World Series trophy gone to Kansas City yet already? Should we just give him the trophy now?
I
Just
would
like give
love
him the
that.
World Series.
I would
Just
love
on
that.
But another question, the most important question: what jersey did you wear to the game?
I wore my Bobby Witt Jr. City Connect jersey. I wore my Bobby Witt.
Okay.
I wore my City Connect hat. So I was matching. Like I said, we were on camera the whole game. You can see my
Yes,
feet.
you are.
You can see me. I know I sent you that picture, so I knew I wanted to look fresh. I knew where I was going to be sitting.
Right, absolutely. So I just want to make sure you're on your ball game there. So good for you. No, honestly, man, the Royals, they're lights out right now. They're on a tear. They're on a hot streak. However you want to put it. They're rolling on all cylinders. Right, they're cooking with peanut oil, like some would say. And it's unfortunate because my team had to be part of that destruction, and it is what it is. To beat a team like the Rays, who are a sneaky team, we're not, great by any means. We're not, tearing the cover off the ball by any means. But our pitching staff quietly is pretty decent. You know what I mean? And that's the downfall of our team. Talking about the Rays for a little bit here is that we can't correspond with our pitching staff. Our bats can't align with what our pitching is doing, unfortunately. So when the Royals come in and they do what they did, but they did what they did against our pitching staff. That's impressive to me because, like I said, when you mentioned Taj Bradley, he's a stud. He's an up and coming stud. He's going to be a stud for years to come. And to put up a good spot on him, that was great. Our pitching staff as a whole is what's holding our team together, and the Royals really made it a point to point out our weaknesses in our pitching staff, which I thought that was great on the Royals aspect of things. Obviously, not as a Rays fan, right? But the Royals, and another thing that you mentioned too, which I think goes unnoticed, and I love that because obviously you being a diehard fan, you would pick this up, but the average fan wouldn't. Is Salvador Perez. Right? So many people are not writing him off, but like he's just kind of in the lineup, right? He's your captain. He kind of gets the grease that gets the motor running, but you're not expecting him to do too much, right? He's going to give you, your hits here and there, but the guy is showing up. I mean, he's not in prime Salvi Perez territory right now, but the guy is doing much more than what I think, in my opinion, what the Royals fans were expecting from him. And I think that's a huge, huge ticket for you guys to kind of jump on that wave and ride that wave as long as you can until, that kind of falls down. But the next
Until
man
Jack
comes back
Caglianone comes up.
Tampa boy.
Yes, and with the time we have left, I'll tell you, I expect him to come up very soon because I think the team was waiting for us to get hot to bring him up. You don't want to bring up like a savior of the franchise when the team is floundering because then you're telling him, hey, you got to come up and you got to right the ship by yourself. But when you have Salvi stacking up the extra base hits, when you have Bobby Witt Jr. hitting, when you have guys like Vinny Pasquantino starting to find their power and a starting rotation that's locking everybody down, now he can come up with a little more comfort, not have to feel like he's got to be a world beater every night. He can go out, he can learn, he can just kind of slide into that roster and do what he does well without having to worry about some of his stuff like the strikeout rate. Maybe a below average defender. We're thinking about moving him into the outfield. So I think he can come up comfortably. Yeah, we're supposed to be moving him. He's been playing right field in Double-A. So I think the Jack Caglianone time is upon us very, very soon. Our third topic today is going to be called Panic Button. I've got a team here that I think may be in that spot where they need to hit the panic button, and that is the Texas Rangers, a team that right now is fourth place, I believe, in their division. A team that has a great starting rotation. I believe their starting ERA is sub 3. Um, but they are 10-16 against teams who are over 500, meaning most of their wins are coming from, I believe 6 of their wins are coming from bad teams. Um, and their offense is just putrid right now. The biggest surprise for me, I looked at their OPS as a team. Outside of Corey Seager and Wyatt Langford, all of the guys you would consider stars. That's going to be your Marcus Simeons. That's going to be your Adolis Garcias. And then the guy they brought in to add even more power to what was supposed to be a power hitting lineup, Jock Peterson, is awful. Awful.
Stop playing ball. He needs to stop.
He's bad. If you don't understand what OPS plus is, OPS is a stat that combines a player's slugging percentage with their on base percentage. Are they getting extra base hits? Are they hitting for power? And are they getting on base? OPS plus is a stat that measures them against the rest of the league. So an OPS plus of 100 means they're exactly league average. An OPS plus of 125 means they're 25% better. An OPS plus of 75 would mean they have an OPS 25% worse than average. Here's 2 numbers. Marcus Simeon, he's an all-star. He's supposed to be one of the anchors of that lineup. His OPS plus is 49. 51% worse than league average. That's not the worst part. Jock Peterson has an OPS plus of 13. 13. Meaning he is. I didn't know it went that low. Exactly. He is. I mean, he's one of the worst players in baseball and a guy they expected to carry them for stretches. A guy who's proven in the past that he can carry an offense with his bat. They've had Corey Seager out with injuries, which you expect from a guy like Corey Seager. You don't necessarily have a lockdown bullpen, I wouldn't say. And a rotation can only carry you so far. And the reason I say they should be hitting the panic button is because you cannot have another month where you're losing the majority of your games to good teams and getting all your wins from bad teams. Because as we get into the tougher stretches, as the season, which it does, gets exhausting, the dog days of summer, they call it, as you start to experience some injuries to that rotation, which inevitably some of your better pitchers will miss time. Even DeGrom, by the way, has not looked great.
No.
I think this season could get away from them fairly quickly. Where are you at on them? Because I expected them to be a team that could compete in the American League to win that the league, to go to the World Series again out of the American League. And as of now, I don't even look at them as a contender. Just looking at their numbers, looking at them on paper, and looking at the actual product they're putting on the field.
Right.
Let's try to save a few seconds because we've gone over. Do you have anything to add on to the Rangers?
Yeah. I think that organization is too analytical. The reason why I say that is because they brought in players like your Jock Petersons of the world to try to fill in an analytical world on their batting order, whether it be batting percentage or whether it be their home runs. And he's not, as you just mentioned, he's not fulfilling that role at all. So that goes back to sometimes you just got to go with your old gut feeling. If the player's not good, if he's decreasing in value over the years, stop looking at analytics. Analytics is only going to get you so far, and I think that's where their trouble is there. But real quick, I know we have some time left. My team that is pushing the panic button as of right now is in my division, and that's the Baltimore Orioles, and that's because nobody predicted them. I mean, at least I didn't, especially in my division, for them to be this low. They're last in our division right now. They're 5th behind us, which is not saying too much, but it just goes to show you that you got to get hot quick and early, especially when you're in a tough division. We mentioned that the West is the toughest division in baseball, but the AL East is nothing to sneeze at either, especially when you have your Aaron Judge that is just tearing up the league, and not to mention Goldie and the Yankees. They're just on a roller coaster right now that's just going up. So as long as they keep on going up, you have to really tie it down now. And they're not doing that. Their pitching staff is falling short.
Awful.
Their bat awful, and their batting is just not picking up the slack. Their run percentage is not up there. How they're producing their on the base pass is not up there. Just everything as of right now is just not. It's a dumpster fire. So we need to get some firefighters out there to light that bitch up and put that bitch out, because they need to figure it out ASAP before it's way too late in this division, because this division can get away from you real quick.
And they're going to get swept by the Royals here, knock on wood. They've got a tough road coming up. Pull up that schedule. They've got a tough one. Our last topic today that'll round out our show is going to be who's about to get hot. We just talked about teams that have been hot, teams that need to hit the panic button. Now let's talk, and I really only want to cover one team. I dug into this a little bit. The Padres are going to get scorching red hot here. They are 19. Yeah. They're 19-11. Unfortunately, they're 4-6 in their last 10, but they're one of two teams in the MLB to allow less than 100 runs so far this year. The other one is the Mets. They've allowed 98 runs. Like we've talked about, that's a surprise pitching staff. But the Padres have only allowed 90 runs this season. Nobody is putting up big numbers on them. Their bullpen, Ranger Suarez at the back end with a 0.6 ERA and a 0.57 whip. Your boy, Jason Adam, has slotted into that setup role and has been phenomenal.
I hate when we lost him.
I know. And when he walked, I said that's going to really hurt the Rays bullpen, which has been a weakness. They get Yu Darvish back soon. But real quick, let's talk about that offense. Xander Bogaerts, Fernando Tatis leading the league in WAR. You have Manny Machado. Jackson Merrill has been banged up, but will be back. They've got, the heart of that order is brutal for an opposing staff. And I want to look at their schedule coming up. I believe I took a screenshot. They've got what you could only describe as a fucking cakewalk coming up. Like I said, really? They have had a tough schedule so far, playing in that division out there. They've got 3 against Pittsburgh coming up. Then they have 3 in New York. That is really where the toughest part of their schedule is. They go to Colorado for 3 after a day off. They have 3 at home against LA, 3 at home against Seattle. Seattle, not an easy series.
What LA team?
Oh, the Angels.
Okay, makes a difference. Makes a difference.
A tough home stand against Seattle, but that Seattle team is coming to you, makes it a little easier. Then they've got Toronto, Atlanta, Miami, Pittsburgh. So just a lot of bums. 2 series against Pittsburgh, the Angels, Miami, Colorado, all this month. I could see them leading the MLB this month. And if they can put together a little bit of cushion in that division, I don't even think, if you want to go to the World Series, you don't even have to win that National League West. You've just got to get to the playoffs and get hot, because there's probably going to be 3 or 4 teams coming out of that division. And I think as far as familiarity with the Dodgers, the Padres are probably the team that matches up with them the best. They've got a rotation and a bullpen that can slow down those Dodgers, and they've got one of the only offenses that can hang with them. And I expect them to be scorching hot going through the month of May. Before we get into that stretch of games in the summer, you've got to stack up some wins before attrition sets in, and that's what they have an opportunity to do here. So with the last minute and 30 or so we have, Josh,
Yeah. No, I think you hit everything on the head. The 2 points that I do want to make is 3, I should say. Jackson Merrill coming back. They're still afloat. They're still doing their thing. And when he gets back, he's only going to add fuel to the fire, right? So that's number 1. Number 2, Fernando Tatis. Fernando Tatis is absolutely quietly doing what he's doing as the big-time name, big-time face of the organization, the whole 9. He's producing. He's top 3 in home runs or something like that. Excuse me, tied for 4th in home runs, top 3 in RBIs, top 3 in batting average right now. So quietly, he is doing what Fernando Tatis loves to do. The third point that I want to bring up on the Padres, and I know you don't like him as a catcher, but I like my catcher, so I'm a little bit biased. Is my Maldonado, aka Machete, Puerto Rican powerhouse catcher. I mean, honestly, the guy knows how to work a pitching staff, and it's showing. Everywhere he goes, he has his pitching staff on point. It's very quiet, and it's a selfless.
Terrible bat.
That's what I'm saying, because he doesn't produce at the plate. So, and teams are going to take that all day over, producing at the bat. If you can control our pitching staff and get us in, he's done it with Houston. He's done it everywhere he's gone. And I just think we need to give him his flowers because, yes, he's not the best batter, but he is one of the best pitching staff catchers that in recent memory that I would like to give his flowers to.
Mm-hmm. Former Royal, too, by the way.
Yes.
I hate him in Kansas City. But yeah, don't be surprised if the Padres just absolutely light it up this month. And we will touch again. We'll touch again on that every month. At the beginning of every month, we'll make a prediction on what team we expect to get scorching hot. Hopefully, the Royals come up here because we just came off a brutal April. We had, I think it was before that Colorado series, we only played teams that were above 500 or former playoff teams from last year. So hopefully, maybe even the Rays could sneak in if their schedule lightens up. Yeah, if their schedule lightens up in that division. But with that, we are just about out of time. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to leave us a comment, subscribe, drop any topics that you're interested in us covering. We would love to have a fan topic. Josh, anything you'd like to add before we rock out?
Yeah, no, fans, let us have it, man. Let us know what we're doing right. Let us know what we're doing wrong. Give us some topics. I appreciate you delivering a broomstick to my house. You're very thoughtful. I can clean my house with that broomstick now, so thank you. Thank you, Rays, for letting him buy me that broomstick. But no, all seriousness, thanks, man. Thanks for always having me on this show. I love what I do here, and I love having and talking baseball with you.
Absolutely. We'll see you next time. Once again, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. We'll see you next time.